Hi everyone, today we're going to be making a mineral oil emulsion. The first step will be to get a 4-ounce bottle and calibrate it to 60 milliliters, and you'll go ahead and put a mark on the bottle, and you'll just set this aside. We won't need that until the very end. The next step will be to get your acacia and weigh it out using this balance, and I've already done that. You'll place the amount in a porcelain mortar. Be sure not to use a glass mortar. And then the next step will be to add the mineral oil. So I've already pre-weighed, measured out my mineral oil. It's 30 mils, but we're going to add it only 10 mils at a time. It'll be important to mix thoroughly between each step to make sure that it's homogeneous and mixed well. Now that my acacia and mineral oil is mixed together thoroughly, I can go ahead and show what this should look like at this stage. It should mix together very easily. It's okay to let this sit aside and take a break to move on to other parts of the lab if you need to take a break to go counsel. For now, I'm going to move on to the next step, which will be to mix up the flavoring, the stemicide, and the sweetener with the alcohol. So the first step will be to get a small mortar. The glass one is fine for this step. I've already measured out my alcohol. So go ahead and pour that in. And then you'll add your drops of flavoring. And for this step, you'll have to calculate the number of drops that you need to add. That's equal to 0.18 mils. The next one is the stemicide, and this is 3 drops. And then finally, the sweetener. Now that we've gotten this step taken care of, I'm going to go ahead and move on towards making the emulsion itself. At this point, you'll need your 15 mils of water measured out, and we'll go ahead and add that to the original acacia and mineral oil mixture that we've already prepared. It's important to calculate a rough estimation of the amount of water you will need to QS to 60 mils. I've measured out a small amount of water that is a little underestimate of what I think will be needed, because you will be using water to rinse this mortar after we're finished, but you don't want to use too much, or when you dump it into your bottle, you'll have more than 60 mLs. So it's important to know at that point that you'll need to know how much you're going to need. So I've already gone ahead and measured that amount here, but for now we're just going to worry about the 15 mLs. This part is very crucial to add slowly, but most importantly to mix quickly and vigorously, because at this point we're trying to get the mineral oil immersed within the water and to prevent the phases from separating. So I'm going to go ahead and start just by stirring this and adding slowly. Once all of your water is added, you still need to vigorously stir. After stirring for about 6 minutes, this is what the progress looks like so far. When you're done with your preparation, it should be very creamy and very smooth looking. To get it to this step, it's most important to push down very hard when you're stirring like this. But now that we've gotten our preparation to the creamy stage, it's okay to move on and add our previous preparation with the flavoring and syrup. It's important to add this slowly because it's going to have to incorporate within the emulsion to prevent the emulsion from being too overwhelmed with it. We want to add it slowly and mix it in while we go. At this step, I just wanted to point out another emulsion that was not as successful. This one is a cracked emulsion. As we mix it, it will not go back, and it has never been a creamy appearance like this one, and this one will not be able to go back into an emulsion form. So now we're at the final stages of the emulsion. We're going to go ahead and add it to our bottle and then QS up to the 60 ml mark. And this is a point where it's important to have extra water to rinse out your mortar and to add up to the 60 ml mark. But you'll want to make sure that you don't add too much because then you may go higher than 60 mils and then you'll have too much product and your concentrations will not be correct. I'm going to go ahead and add about half of the water that I expect I'll need so that I can rinse more than one time. I'm going to mix to help get it off the sides of the mortar and also to get it off the pestle as well. And I'll add the second half of the water. And I still have a little bit more to add to make it up to 60 mils. And then to get the water to mix within the emulsion, you'll want to shake it vigorously. You also need to tell your patients when they take this that they'll have to shake it before they take it every time in case any of the oil has separated from the water. Once the emulsion is formed, it shouldn't later crack. If it hasn't cracked now, it should be okay. The phases still may separate, but they should be able to go back into an emulsion form with shaking.